Well, welcome to the Ostermann Arena in Leverkusen, back for the second session of action at the European Darts Open, the opening Euro Tour event of 2018. Tonight we got two world champions on the way, the world youth champion, four previous winners on the European Tour, two of the four men to beat Michael van Gerwen in 2018. And as the Euro Tour is the last bastion of female objectification, we've got walk-on girls as well. 8 games on the way. I'm Dan Dawson, Paul Nicholson alongside me for the opening match of the night, and it is a former Euro Tour winner in Vincent van der Voort, the Dutch destroyer, against Marco Kantele, the Nordic and Baltic qualifier. As we did last year, got one spot in the 48-man field for somebody to come from the sort of Scandinavian and Baltic countries, and this time it is Marco Kantele who's come through what is really turning in to a really competitive qualifying tournament each time we have these Euro Tour events. So just getting here is a good effort. And Kantele, as we've seen, the likes of Kim Viljanen last year. Kantele, we had...
ladies and gentlemen, first leg,
whose name did we always used to sing?
Game on!
Ulf Seeder.
Ulf Seeder, there we go.
Don't forget about Dennis Nielsen.
And Dennis Nielsen, of course. Look at this now.
And we're going to see another bit of progression, I feel, this year from Nordic and Baltic. We've got Darius Slavanauskis this year to look forward to. Someone who has had success in the BDO. We will be seeing his transition to the PDC, I believe. He's doing quite well in that Nordic and Baltic League, isn't he?
Well, he is. With Kim Viljanen, who has been the standout player on the Nordic and Baltic division, if you like, of the PDC for the last couple of years. Well, he's not having it all his own way this year. If you look at the rankings right now, Kim Viljanen's in... he's behind Darius Slavanauskis. 140. It's Kim Viljanen in third. Daniel Larsson, the Swede, a guy we have seen win on the European Tour before now. And Darius Slavanauskis has got nearly twice as much money in the ranking list as Kim Viljanen. Marco Kantele down in 6th.
We've got Maras Rasmussen there, who we will see in the European Tour this season. Very, very competitive, and it's a massive growth area in the role shooting, maybe to, see that Scandinavia is featured more on the Euro Tour in the future. We have Denmark this year, which we're really looking forward to. Found out today, Dan, that Denmark are actually playing one of their World Cup games the night before we start against Australia. That could be a rather rambunctious atmosphere in Denmark when we go there.
Yeah, going to be very interesting. Copenhagen for the first time on the European Tour. We'll see what kind of crowds we can get. Certainly filled up a bit here in the Ostermann Arena for tonight's session. As Vincent now. Okay, I thought he might have entertained the old double-double route, but decided against it. Kantele only needs one treble for this.
116, he would love a 60. Can't get it, so now he's got to go to the left of that.
That's the right.
42.
So now the gamble from Van der Voort has paid off. Now he's just got to full stop this leg. And there it is, right in the corner. First leg Van der Voort on throw against a guy whose name we were taught how to say properly last year by Kim Viljanen. He said to us in Vienna last year, it's not Kantele, it's Kantele. So we're doing him proud.
55.
We will no doubt have more pronunciation guides from Paul Nicholson as the weekend goes on.
Well, they are second hand. I get them from the horse's mouth.
Straight for the horse's mouth. Winner of this one goes through to face Chizzy. Dave Chisnell, number 9 seed here this weekend, and Chizzy back fit and back in form. We saw him playing some fantastic stuff over the last couple of weeks. He's been tickling the 110 mark in averages in at least a couple of games that we've seen on the Pro Tour, and regularly above that 100 mark.
What was Chizzy using stem-wise last week when he was playing so well? Was it the longer stem or the shorter stem?
It's a good question. I'm trying to think back, because I did do a couple of his games, and I think he was on the longer stem. He always, it looked as if he had some real javelins in his hand, Dave Chisnell. It does help with Chizzy when he gets that first dart in the right place. Then that's why he hits so many 180s, because he's so good at clattering into them and following into the 60 bet.
Yeah, he fiddled with those shorter stems for a while, but it just wasn't consistent. And I feel with the longer ones, he's a bit better. But someone who has transitioned well to the shorter stem is Vincent van der Voort, who has been using the shorter stem with the larger flight for some time now to great effect, and he's another one who's had injuries.
Yeah, he certainly has. We're lucky to still see Vincent playing competitive darts because he was ready to jack it all in. It's been a long and painful journey back from the brink of retirement, really.
45.
Just the 45. Kantele favourite to level this up at 1 apiece. If not in this visit, the next one. Might be this visit. It's single 10 or it's a single 18. It's the 10s to leave him tops.
Well, it was a good sign, that 10 right in the middle.
Third leg of Vincent.
Very good finish. Sign of confidence from the Finn. These guys have been playing against each other for years. In the BDO, on the Euro Tour, seen a lot of each other. I'm sure they've probably bumped into each other at World Cups in the past,
well,
even Europe Cups.
The only meeting I could find between them, and they must have been in the same tournaments, the only actual head-to-head clash I could find was September the 5th, 2005 at the World Darts Trophy, when Vincent won it 3-1. And that's the first maximum of the evening session.
I'm sure it won't be the last. But these two guys, the camera doesn't really do them justice. They are very, very tall. Maybe not as tall as Titus Kanek earlier, who was... he was hitting a few 180s earlier as well. This game is delivering.
Oh, Vincent, count man. Leaves him 165, bogey number.
He didn't think he could hit a 20 there when he hit the two previous darts. He thought it had to be a 60. So that's bad counting from Marco there, because when you're on 274, feel you got to go 19s first. Because if you had a single 19, you've still got an out with 60 and 25 to leave 170. That's a good 105 from Vincent to leave 60 now, and the pressure is on Kantele to throw a max here. A 174 to leave tops. I have a feeling there's going to be 2 on Van der Voort in the next few seconds.
These can be tricky though. Wayne Mardle's been talking about this, leaving yourself 60, because you are going to end up blocking some of the bed. He has left room over to the right,
20.
but he can't find it.
It's easier for the likes of Pipe, isn't it? It'd be easier for Kantele, because his darts are very flat. Well, he can't concern himself with 60 outshots because he's got 94 more than that. He's going to give Van der Voort 3 clean darts at double top right now, which Vincent will want to clinically take care of. And what does he leave? 60.
Well, no darts to get in the way this time, apart from that one. Double 10. Double 5.
30.
3 open beds, 3 missed darts. It's 5 in the leg that Vincent has had, and this now is the 60 easier for Marco Kantele, because the way his darts lie, if anyone can, Marco Kantele can.
Game shown
2-1.
It's got a very good ring to it, that, Dan. If anyone can, Marco Kantele can. It sounds like the woman that used to sing with Clive James, you know,
Margarita Bragasat.
Yeah, that's it.
I didn't think she'd get a mention in commentary. I think it was about 6, Nico.
I must have been about 7 then.
Well, it is a break of throw, and look, we said that these Nordic and Baltic players have a very, very good record on the European Tour. But here comes Big Vincent.
140.
Is this the part of the season, Dan, where a lot of the guys who've played a lot since first week of February start to tire a little bit, and they ache for a little bit of a weekend off? Well, if you want a good season, you don't really want to have weekends off at this point in time, because Euro Tour starts, you've got Pro Tours most weekends. The next conceivable weekend off for these guys should be the end of May.
Well, it's an interesting point, although of all the sort of established pros, and Vincent is certainly an established pro, as he has a slight hobble to the back of the stage. That's a little bit concerning with Vincent's history of back injuries. He should be pretty fresh. He has been travelling to all the events and playing all the Pro Tours, but he's not been in them for very long. So he did enough to get to the UK Open. He kept making second rounds and board finals. But he's not had a good run in any of the Players' Championship events. In fact, he's been a regular first round loser. He's gone out in round 1 5 of the 6 times and only made round 2 the other time. So it's not exactly been the form that we expect from Vincent, because when he has been fit last year, he played really well. It's just that he wasn't always fit.
He is approaching the oche a little bit slower than usual and very cautiously, I might add. So maybe there is just a sign of
41.
A little bit of discomfort, maybe.
Potentially. He has given himself a good chance of breaking back here. Has to stay straight here, Kantele. Even a 60 gets him to a finish, but 100. Yes. Yeah, that leaves him a Shanghai finish. A lot easier than this 137 that Vincent's going to have a look at.
137 needs that 60 first, gets it. 77. It needs double 10. He pulled that one. He knows that was a bit of a wide. Gave it the old Dickie Bird down the leg side. But 120 is another shot that's easier if your darts are flat. Now he's got that 60 left. Double top for a 120 check out. It's very, very good, you know. Clinical stuff. Taking advantage of the Van der Voort misses at double. And he's got a 3-1 lead the Finn.
60 and 120. And if he continues to finish like that, it won't really matter that his scoring is not that impressive. Vincent van der Voort, I mean, if he continues to finish 1 out of 7, he's got problems. And you look at the first 9 average there. And put that in context, Vincent, after 3 visits to the board, he's getting to a finish. It's a big one, it's the biggest one of the game, 170. But that means that he should be getting more opportunities. He has had plenty of opportunities, he's just not been able to take them.
Earlier on today, when John Henderson was playing the last game of the afternoon session, he hit 6 doubles out of 7 attempts. He had 5 shots at double top and hit it 5 times. So, to use your terminology, Dan, it could well be a Hendo Weekendo.
Yeah, the big Hendo Weekendo. We've had a few, but he's not gone all the way and claimed a title. And there's a few people just in the players' room who are discussing Big Hendo. He's not dangerous at the start of this year. It could happen at some point. Might be one of these, might be a Pro Tour weekend.
Anything's possible. 89 is possible. Doesn't need to go 20 bull here, but he will go treble 18 for double 8.
17.
Another missed start at double, but Kantele cannot punish this time from 228 adrift. Good leg from Vincent on a double after 12. Could have been a 12 for him, but wasn't able to convert. Feel for his own confidence, he's got to get rid of this quick.
100.
Well, down to a finish, Kantele, but that's an enormous one. And it won't matter because a 13 darter is as good as we've seen so far in this one.
Game on.
Only a hold of throw, but the gap is cut. Vincent, a former Euro Tour winner, won in Austria a few years back, beat Jamie Caven in the final of that one.
Last night he had 3 games in qualifying. He was one of the top seeds in qualifying for this tournament. He goes for another 177 possibly. Not to be, but came through Ramon Hurebrink, 6-2. Christoph van der Waal, 6-2. And Freddie Gesselman, 6-zip. Always good to get a 6-zip, especially when that's to qualify.
You're dropping 4 legs in 3 games. He does have the ability to do it. When Vincent is on, he is on. And we mentioned that the winner of this plays Dave Chisnall. It was those two that met in the first round of the World Championship at Ali Pali this year, and Vincent was on. He was averaging around about the 101 mark, and Chizzy didn't do a great deal wrong, but he got an absolute hiding.
First 2 games of his World Championship campaign were blitzing. Absolutely brilliant stuff to watch. And he is good to watch when he's in full flow. He's one of those guys, he's box office starts.
Oh, I'm not sure what that was there, Vincent. He seemed to sort of jerk his neck, have to readdress the hockey, and there's evidently some sort of issue. I assume it's his back. It's always
134.
Still manages to come away with a 1-3-4 to leave a finish after 9.
Beware the wounded man sometimes. Gary Anderson, the start of this year, could barely walk. And the treatment he's had has worked, to say the least.
It has. Certainly playing some very, very impressive stuff at the minute. Vincent down for the 19s. Now for the ball. Got to go for it.
102.
Similar shot for Kantele.
Well, the 120 earlier from Kantele was brilliant. Now he's got to raise the bar. Needs a 60 to leave the bullseye. Vincent will be back for 25 for parity.
58.
And a 3-3 game.
25.
This to break and get his throwback. Slight adjustment for double 8. And that is the one he needed. 3-3 it is. And after Kantele was punishing him earlier, Vincent visibly a little bit uncomfortable, but he's fighting well.
Yeah, well, 1 out of 7 on his doubles at one stage. Now he's 3 out of 11, so maybe he's just got his eye in on the outer ring. And that has been the difference in this game. So far, Vincent outscoring his opponent, but letting him in at the start of the match because he was missing doubles. And the average now for Vincent is around about the 96-97 mark, which is, well, there you go, 96.4. And that first 9, that is a gulf. And if anything, it's got better and better as the game has gone on. Absolutely forcing that last start in there.
Very, very good first 9, isn't it? To put that in perspective, 115, so that's on average leaving 154, 155 after 9 every leg. That's very, very good. Consistent stuff.
And it's just constant pressure, isn't it? It's going to demoralise your opponent when you constantly seeing... Look at this, it's the second time where the last start he's really tried to force it in, and he's nearly slipped a disc trying to jam it in that treble 20.
He was in 2 qualifiers last night, and it finished late last night, so maybe it's just taking its toll a little bit.
100. It's going to require 138.
He's on the Keith Della shot now, though.
But again, 9 darts thrown, he's on a finish, albeit a big one, and Kantele a good 100 points behind. And it doesn't matter that he's just chipped away at it, because it's going to mean he gets 2 darts for the leg. And over the last couple of legs, 2 darts at a double has been enough for Vincent. Wasn't the start of the match, but it has been for the last couple of legs. And if that continues, Van der Voort will go into the lead for the first time since he was 1-0 up.
Vincent require 54.
14 and tops coming in. 14's right in the middle. So, well, that's not in the middle, but it's in there. And there's a little exasperation of maybe relief that it went in, but he doesn't look happy. I'm a little bit biased, Dan. I want him to win because he does provide rather good interviews after.
Well, yes. Yeah, he does have a history, particularly of the European Tour, Vincent, but he has produced some belters on big TV stages.
1.
There was a little period last year where Vincent's having got himself into trouble by using some rather choice language. But he decided to censor himself in interviews and only responded to questions from Elmar by beeping.
1.
I remember that, yeah.
Thankfully that didn't last. I mean, it was funny for a bit, but don't think you go through the rest of your career doing this.
81.
Earlier on today, Cameron Menzies was asked about how many words he knew in German, and he said 1. And
let's not guess.
No, he told everybody.
Okay, right, fair enough.
140.
Solid debut on the European Tour for Cameron Menzies.
He played very, very well today, Cameron Menzies. I am epically looking forward to him against Van Gerwen tomorrow. That will be fun.
Cameron Menzies looks like a player who's going to provide a lot of entertainment value over his PDC career, which, judging on the undoubted talent that he has, could be a long career. Exciting young player. Excitable young player.
You know what Cameron Menzies looks like when he's playing darts on the stage? He's like Madonna in that Anna Friel video.
180.
Another 180 from Van der Voort to get himself back in the leg with a chance. And that one doesn't help Kantele. 103 can't be done in 2, but he can set it up really nice. There's a little bit of a grimace from the Finn there. That's about as much emotion as you get from him. This 1-2-1 would really, really sting the Finn. That's perfect. That's in. That's almost in. So close.
Very nearly took out 301 in 2 visits there, Vincent van der Voort. Marco Kantele, surely he goes 5 for tops. Surely. He's not missed tops. Is that going to continue? What are you looking at, Marco? Oh, maybe you should have been looking at tops.
25.
Had to adjust. Left or right. Went straight. Wasn't the right line in the end. But straight down the line for Van der Voort. A 8-8. The switch to 4s.
17.
It's not there. He really wanted that in. Get the feeling he just wants to get this game done.
20.
Not as easy as that sometimes. And 2 10s for Kantele will take us to 4-4.
Game start in the 8th.
There it is. 4-4 it is.
Right leg, Vincent.
The silver lining for Van der Voort is that he still has the throw.
Oh, very nearly stealing that leg away with 2 fantastic visits, Vincent van der Voort. But then when he came back and had a couple of darts for it, he couldn't get the job done. 5-3 up, thrown for the match. Looks very, very different from this. And you do wonder, with the way that Vincent has been struggling with whatever injury he's got,
80.
Marco will just, you think if I can just take this to a last leg decider, I might just have a little bit of an edge.
Well, players like Kantele, all they want is one chance. They're never going. I mean, he's never going to outscore someone like Van der Voort. The statistics prove that. But he's a pincher. He likes to steal legs away from you. He's a workman-like type player. And you've got to be like that when you're beating the likes of Labanauskas, Dennis Nielsen and Magnus Carlsen qualifying.
Yeah, 6-3, 6-4 and 6-5, those 3 wins in qualifying from Marco Kantele.
1 runner, 40.
Again, Vincent is on that first 9 average, leaving round about the 150 mark after 3 visits. And there's a gulf in the averages. There's 10 points pretty much in the averages between these 2.
83. Vincent, you require 147.
60 will leave 87. 5 leaves 142. That's a good switch though. It's a good saving treble, that, just to make things a little bit easier for himself. And we were talking about this earlier with Rob Malarkey on 65. A lot of guys these days are going treble 11 because they don't want to bother with the gamble of going for 25 and hitting bullseye all the time.
1 runner, 40.
I get the feeling though that Vincent will go for 25.
That 140's put some pressure on him. Surely.
25.
Even Vincent can't believe that one didn't find the mark.
98.
Well, if he hits this 98, he will prove my point about being a pincher. Treble 18 for double 12. Double 12 for the best start of the match. Wow, Kantele, what a shot, and that will hurt Van der Voort. What a great checkout. You wonder why he's here. That's the reason.
Well and truly pinched from Marco Kantele. And throwing for the match, how quickly this is turned. Vincent van der Voort, a dart at bull, a dart at double 8 and a dart at double 4, all missed for a 5-3 lead. He was 3-1 down in this one. And he's going to have to come from behind again, the Dutch destroyer. One of the biggest names in action on day 1 of the European Darts Open will be going out, but he's not done yet. 180 number 3.
Why is it when you've got a little bit of an injury that games always go to 6-4, 6-5? Don't think Kantele is finished in this leg. He's battling very, very well. Steady darts. That 180 has given the darts to Van der Voort.
100.
Great last dart.
Needed it as well.
Crowd are getting on his side as well. Fan favourite Van der Voort. Oh, it's a massive 180 for the Finn. He's put himself 97 in front, and Van der Voort needs trebles, and he needs them now.
Marco Kantele.
83.
4-3 down, having to survive darts for a 5-3 deficit, and he has pulled out some big visits at crucial moments. The 98 checkout was magnificent, and this could be a stunning leg to win it. Oh my word, he's just clipped the wire.
When that was in the air, I guarantee you he thought that was in. That 138 for Van der Voort is not going.
58.
So Kantele has options here. Will it be 1 for double 12, 9 for double 8? Go with what you feel. Double 12 might be the double, because he hit it last time, but he's chosen 9 for double 8 for the match.
And that is exactly what he has taken out. The Finn wins it 6-4 against the Dutch destroyer. The former UK Open finalist Vincent van der Voort goes out in the very first round here. Once again, the Nordic and Baltic qualifiers have come to the European Tour and upset the odds. Vincent van der Voort averaging more than 6 points, or pretty much 6 points more than his opponent in this one. But the finishing proved disastrous for Vincent.